Hey everyone, Eric here. In this video, we're checking out the Beetronics Vezzpa Octave Stinger. The Vezzpa Octave Stinger is part of the Baby series, so it's a smaller enclosure just like the Fat Bee Overdrive, which is also part of their Baby enclosure, you know. The Baby compared to the full Bee, there we go. So as part of the Baby line, it's in this smaller enclosure, really pedalboard friendly, and one thing to note is that this is part of their custom shop. So this is part of their custom shop, which is actually made for me. Look at that. Look at that. I'm so happy. I'm so incredibly pumped about this. So this is part of their custom shop, which means the standard version won't look exactly like this, but all the functionality will be the exact same as this one. So the Vezzpa is a 2-in-1 pedal actually. On the left side here, we have a big full wall of fuzz type sound for, like, you know, chords, you know, just whatever you want to fuzz. On the right, we actually have something called they call the stinger mode, which is like an upper octave. It's another fuzz, but it's a different style of fuzz with a whole bunch of harmonics and a lot of like upper frequencies. And wherever you play on your guitar, you get like an octave up sound. So let's go ahead and jump into the controls. There are two controls. There's a volume and a sustain. Now volume, of course, you get more or less output volume, which lets you volume match other pedals in your signal chain, or you can drive into the front of your amp even harder. All the way down. In addition to the volume, we have the sustain control. So sustain controls how much fuzz or how much sustain, of course, you have in your signal. With low settings like it is right now, you get kind of like a gated sound. But as we turn it up, we get more sustain and more fuzz. Right now, we're on the fuzz side. We're actually not on the stinger side. As I mentioned before, we have two different sides to the Vezzpa. To access the stinger mode, when the pedal is on, we can double press the foot switch right there, and now we're in the stinger mode. Now this mode gives us an upper octave. It's different from the first mode. Let's go ahead and turn the fuzz down a little bit, the sustain. This is at about half. Right now we're about 25%. And we cut off at like 10% there. You can hear that the Stinger mode has a very different voice. It's got like an upper octave quality to it, like a more nasally voice compared to the fuzz voice. One thing right off the bat, whenever I get a pedal like this, which has that cool upper octave, what I like to do is switch to the neck pickup, roll my tone all the way down, so the guitar actually sounds like this. Which I find provides kind of like a more stable and more pronounced upper octave, but I like to do that and then play kind of like what a keyboard might play. Let's go ahead and check out the octave channel here with more than one note. So this is a one note line. And here is a power chord line, so it's two notes. So here's another two note line, but instead of power chords, instead of fifths, we're actually going to do thirds. It seems to like power chords more than it does those thirds. The star of the show is the Footswitch. Now you might be saying, Eric, why is a Footswitch the star of the show? Well, let me tell you, that's a great question, first of all. Second of all, so we can do multiple things. Like, we can tap it to turn on, we can press and hold to momentarily turn on the effect, or switch between sides. So we mentioned that the star of the show is the Footswitch, and that's because it has multiple functions. So for instance, we can have momentary or latching function for on-off. So that means I can hit a chord, I can press and hold the Footswitch, and it'll momentarily turn on the pedal in whatever mode we have selected. And when I want to disengage it, I just let off the Footswitch. That's really powerful. Of course, you can press it to turn on the pedal. In addition to momentary on-off, we can also double-click to change fuzz voices. So if we have the pedal on, in order to change the different modes, we can double-click. So when the pedal is on, you can double click to change modes like we just did, or you can actually press and hold the foot switch to momentarily switch to the other mode. So I just double click to change back to the fuzz mode. And so with all of those functions built into just the foot switch, that makes accessing the pedal in itself and then also between the different voices really interactive and really easy for you to do without even actually having to touch anything on the pedal. Just use your foot. I hope you enjoyed this look at the Vezzpa from Beetronics. If you did like this video, please subscribe to the channel. Check out all the other gear demos and instructional videos I have here. And if you want to keep up with me on a daily basis and interact with me a little bit more, you can always head on over to Instagram. Follow me at Eric Merrow. Posting stuff over there all the time. I love interacting. And before I get out of here, I want to send a huge thank you to these folks right over here who are my executive producers for my Patreon page. Patreon fam, I love you all. You're a huge support. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe, and I will talk to you in the next video.